Welcome to Served Unfiltered. I'm your host, Vito. This is not your typical motivational podcast. It's not your typical blah blah dumb shit that people say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, you don't. And if you do, you make sure that it's for yourself. Okay? Before we even start, I want to say this very clearly. This is not going to be a perfect podcast. That is not going to be a something that you will see somebody pretending to be perfect. I'm definitely not. And English is my second language. I stutter a lot, and I mispronounce words, and I'm still here, showing up every day. But that's the point, right? That's what we do. What we do for ourselves to be happy, to have better life, to find something meaningful, regardless how small for somebody that is. For us, it's not. Because if there is one thing that life has taught me is waiting for the perfect time, it's the fastest way to never start. Which is very unfortunate because now thinking about it, I've always had that complex of like, oh, I stutter, or I have a feminine voice, or I'm cannot speak English properly. I cannot pronounce some of the words properly. So I'm like, why would I start a podcast? Why would I do what I do literally right at this moment if I'm not doing it for myself? Right? And I keep thinking, oh, what if nobody watches me? Well, too bad. I'm not doing it for the praise. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for myself. So this is a pretty much the beginning of a journey for myself, getting to know myself a little further than the perfect picture I post on Instagram, or the perfect outfit I pick, or the perfect email that I edit 87 times before I submit send. It's not easy standing in front of camera and hearing my voice. But I'm here showing up, doing it for myself, not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it to get out there and show to myself that I'm worth it, and I am doing what I really want to do. And this is to have a podcast. Regardless if I'm going to have one follower or if I'm going to have thousands of followers, my commitment to myself is more important than anything else. And I'm doing it because I really want to. I've always wanted. And that's why I'm here now doing this. Even though it's so weird and so not part of me, but I'm overcoming that obstacle that have always been in front of me, that the public speaking, hate it. Um, Even though everybody says, oh, you grab the auditory, you know how to talk to people, you know this, you know that, it's like, you have no idea what and how hard that is, for somebody who does not like their voice, somebody who always wanted to have a podcast or a social media platform that I can like express how I feel or what I actually do without thinking, oh my God, they have no fucking clue what I'm saying, right? Well, like I mentioned on multiple reels and all the teasers I posted on social media, is that this podcast is for the people who are trying. It's for the people in their 20s, 30s, 40s that actually trying to do better, trying to focus on more, and trying to actually execute life to a certain extent of what actually they really want to do. I know those are a lot of words here. I have no clue what I said. But you got me, right? The people who look at the mirror every day and they're like, am I doing something wrong, or am I behind? Well, no, we're not behind, definitely, and we are definitely not somewhere that we should feel rushed or pressured to do things that everybody else around us is doing, to actually commit to stuff that somebody else is doing. It's not our time, it's not the right time. And even though I preach the motto of you gotta go get what you want, sometimes rushing into things can cause more problems than actually make you happy, which becomes very problematic on your daily routine, your mental health, your observance of what actually is around you, and you're committing to a fixed idea that might not happen. And it's only remain idea because we don't even know how to turn it into a dream. So on this podcast, I'm not serving you some Instagram quotes and some very, you know, revolutionary ideas of how to get your life together, because life is a joke and we have to know when to laugh and when to make fun of and when actually to focus on what we actually want to do and how to take something serious and make it into a something that we really like to do. um I'm gonna be serving you real shit. I'm gonna be serving you things that a lot of people will mute, or a lot of people would not say out loud because they're scared of being judged. They're scared of doing or saying the things that might hurt somebody. Well, I'm not here for anybody's feelings because most of the time I deal on my own with my feelings. And for all the people out there that know me, they would say, "Oh, you have so many friends. You are such a social butterfly." Yes, I am. And I'm not, because, you know, for the record, if you're trying to become a better leader, partner, immigrant, husband, wife, human, this podcast will be for you, because you're already halfway there. You stopped, you pressed play, and you decided to listen to somebody who would just share experience. I won't tell you and show you the hows and the who's. I will show you and tell you what I did and where my mistakes were, because that's when the problem comes. That's when the question of what I'm doing next comes up. And the unknown, it's the biggest enemy for all the overthinkers out there, that we think every step and we think about the consequences and all of this, but we don't need all that, right? We don't need to be so focused on, oh my god, what I'm gonna do if something happened. Well, let's fucking do it and let's see. Life is not easy, and life does not come with a blueprint that tells you, hey, do this. Or, for example, I moved in the States 7 years ago. Eight. Fuck. Time flies. Okay, 8 years ago. Um, Nobody gave me the blueprint of how to be successful in a different country. Nobody told me what to do when I faced the shock of the cultural difference. Nobody gave me the hows and the who's and the ifs, um, which shaped me into someone who actually walked the walk, before I do the talk. Clearly, um, the immigration process was clusterfuck. Um, the growth, the personal growth that I've been through was insane. Um, we're gonna talk about suicidal thoughts. We're gonna talk about failure in relationship. We're gonna talk about questioning yourself, your body, your mind, your presence at all times. We're gonna talk about all of this. So again, thank you for actually being here, and thank you for actually spending your time of your day to listen to somebody who is in the same boat like you. The unknown scares me, and I have no clue what's next. But I'm here doing what I've always wanted to do, having my own podcast. So being episode one, of course, I have to come fucking prepared. I do have some notes that I just don't know. I don't know if I want to use them or not. They're very. That was one of my first notes when I've actually started blogging. When we still did websites, and I still do that. But they were like one of my first articles that I've always wanted to talk about, and they're the hardest part of actually, you know, reading them out loud or saying them out loud. It's extremely weird because when you're closing your own little world and your thoughts are just like this, and you don't know if that this is something normal. It is. You're not alone, and you have no clue what other people are facing and what other people are going through, even though they put the smile on and they move on to the day. This podcast is my way of giving back, my way of telling the truth, and my way of showing you that you don't you don't need a perfect English. You don't need the perfect scenario to go and be perfect or plan or do any of that. You just need the courage to embrace yourself, embrace who you are, embrace what you actually want to do, and don't compare yourself to what you see on social media because some of the things are not true, and we already know that. Some of the things are AI, some of the things are complete picture pose, social media item that is made to sell. They're selling views, they're selling likes, and they're selling your attention. And if you give your attention to something that actually is so temporary that could be deleted with one press, then we have a problem. And I am, people. I do this, I compare myself to all my friends. I always say things like, oh, they already bought a house and I'm over here trying to buy an equipment for a podcast. I don't need an equipment. You don't need equipment. You don't need things to be happy. You only have to do what makes you happy. I could have bought the perfect equipment for my podcast. I could have bought the perfect outfit, or I could have, rented a place to do a podcast. But that's not me. That's not who I am. I don't care about all of this. I did buy whatever suits me, whatever I wanted, and what actually makes me happy is that I've actually committed to this, and I'm actually doing it as everybody says, your first episode is absolute garbage. So I consider this. I'm planning on not doing too much editing. There's no reason for editing because this is going to be my online journal. And I'm not ashamed of the things I'm going to say, and I'm not ashamed of the things that I'm planning on giving to you guys as a actual problem solving. And I would love everybody's feedback on, hey, don't do this, or don't say this, or why are you talking like this. Like, I'm open to feedback. I might not fucking listen to it because everybody who knows me, they know I barely listen to your advice, guys, and I never say, oh yeah, you're right. um you're right, but I'm gonna realize that after 6 months of me breaking my head to this fucking wall. Okay, so let's start the journey. And let me actually tell you this. I didn't create this podcast to sound smart. Um, I did not create this podcast to make any financial, benefit from it. I didn't make this podcast for the fame of like, good job, he did a podcast. Um, I created it because for most of my life, I found alone in my journey, and I have no clue what I'm doing. Um, as an immigrant, as a worker, and as a leader, um, as a man trying to figure out shit while pretending I had it all together, it really, really, really fucking sucks. Um, as I said, nobody handed me the blueprint. So when you don't have a blueprint, what do? You just go with the flow, and you're trying to figure it out. And yes, um, I did one way or another just to make myself happy because this is how This is how you have to learn to stay disciplined and sane. Really important, sane when life hits you from every single fucking direction. When I tell you every single fucking direction, you have to imagine it. Um, Being an immigrant, not having enough money to support yourself or to live the life and the American dream. You know, you always try to prove yourself and do this and do that. And it's, you still have to show up for yourself and be there, because the mental toll that something like this takes on you and the energy that goes out of your body is complete beyond limits, and people don't realize how hard it is to commit to yourself first and what you actually need compared to what you actually want. That's where, the problem starts. That we don't know what we want and we don't know what we need, but we know that somewhere something makes us happy. But what is this something? Um, because the truth is we don't need more perfect voices. We don't need the typical perfect podcast or video that people are saying, oh, in 5 minutes I'll teach you how to talk like a leader. That's bullshit. If you did not walk the walk, no, 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 nobody will train you. The perfect voice for your personality, the perfect touch, the perfect comment that comes out of you and your energy, because we know there's difference between book smart and street smart. You don't, that's same thing. You don't, you commit to this. You learn and teach yourself different things through the process of creating yourself as a person. So when this comes to the nature of actually expressing it, you need a real voice. You need somebody who's been there, who corrected himself 87 times before I learned how to pronounce a word, or before I learned how to actually care about myself first and then everything else. Because if I don't care about myself, I would not care about anything or anyone. And I have two dogs. Unfortunately, I have no fucking choice. And you probably will see them from the episodes, or probably now, one in my feed and one next to me. Um, the real voices is the one that we actually need, and they're the one that actually makes us who we are. And being in the boat of like, damn, that's what I want or that's what I need, is very different than, as I said, in 3 minutes I'm gonna teach you how to do this. Yeah, teach me, but is it going to work for me and my personality and my objective or what I actually want to do? No. I want to talk again about something that shaped me more than anything else, the immigrant experience. That really shocks everybody. This year, 2025, has been a complete mental and emotional damage to me, because I came here with fear. And let's be real, immigrants are scared. We're scared to not get fucked. We're scared to not get fired. We're scared to not say anything wrong. And we're scared to just not belong. And that's when the problem comes. And, every room I walked into, I felt I have to work twice as hard, and I had to earn the right to stand there, which takes a lot of zzz here in your head of thinking, oh, do I deserve this? Yeah, bitch, the fuck you do. You work for it, stand there, get what's yours, and get out. Because that's what we live for. We live for the little bit of recognition at work and then happy life at home. But the problem is that we don't know what happy life looks like. Is it two dogs and a car and a cat and a house? Or is it a perfect dinner and trips to Maldives? We don't know. I don't know what makes me happy, do you? Because if you don't, welcome home once again. The crazy part of all of this is that we carry all of this super quietly. We don't share much. We are scared of, people telling us, "Oh, why would you think so negative? Why are you so negative?" Because I'm realistic and I overthink the shit out of everything. And I may or may not have lost my mind somewhere trying to chase myself, or at least what I want it to be, or at least what social media told me to be, or, just the different concept of, some people grow up thinking they deserve success. Immigrants grow up thinking we have to earn every inch of it. And sometimes it's really big, and the inches hurt. Every single one of them. One thing you will notice about me is, again, that I have an accent and my broken English is there. And for a long time, again, I was embarrassed of my voice. I have no clue what's going on. I said yes when I should have said no, and I dimmed myself so I wouldn't get judged. And look at me now, making a fucking podcast. You know what I'm gonna tell you? Again, I'm doing this for myself, and this is my giving back to the community and actually realizing of what I can bring to somebody who is in the same shoes, because I know I'm not alone. The problem is that a lot of people would not share even 25% of what I would share with you, because the shame is there of what you're going through, and people would not judge you, but you think they will. And that's the biggest mental toll. And that's why I said, you're just there silently dealing with your emotions, and then everybody's like, all right, it's not that bad. Yeah, bitch, it took me 3 years to tell you the truth, or tell you what I actually been through the past, 6 months, what I'm going through. That's what I'm saying is, life moves fast, and when you hit your 20s and 30s, it hits even faster. The crazy part is that you don't even realize it. And, people usually say that you got to be further by now. But no, you don't, because I ask myself all the time, again, the same questions. Am I behind? Am I missing something? No, I'm not. Um, even when things look, even when things look good on paper, career, family, stability, I still felt like I was running against the clock that no one else could see. And that's not true, because being a part of yourself, it's the most important thing. You're not late and you're not behind. And you're on your own timeline, and timeline is something really important. And we have to follow it, regardless if we like it or not. Um, People love motivation videos, and people love quotes, and people love hype. Um, but motivation is a bullshit without discipline. Because if you want something, you gotta go and fucking do it. You want to go to the gym, you want to have a better body, then go and fucking do it. You want to have a better healthy habits and drink this and drink that, then go and fucking do it. Like, don't excuse yourself with like some motivational quote and post it on your story of like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then not even think about it until next year. That comes in your memories, and you're like, oh shit, I was supposed to start doing this. Then why the fuck we wait? Why the fuck we wait? Because we're not committed. We have commitment issues at work. We have commitment issues for relationship. We have commitment issues with doing what actually makes us happy, or what we actually want to look like. We want everything to be like, boom, done. It's not how it's working, sweetheart. And, you know, comparing yourself to something or somebody or whatever timeline somebody else has, it's it's awful, because really makes you feel behind. But you're not. You're living in your own terms. So life technically is great. You just can't realize it, and that's why you're too focused on, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And what do you mean you're gonna do this? When? I've been telling myself I'm gonna start a podcast for the past 3 fucking years. What I did? Waited for last minute. because it was on my vision board for 2025, and that's why I'm starting it. It's gonna last because I'm doing this for myself. I'm embracing myself. I'm embracing of what I actually want to do, and it's important for me to actually realize of where I'm standing with this. But I've messed up a lot, and I've lost a lot of opportunities. I've trusted the wrong people. I've stayed in situations where I should have not. And the truth is, nobody teaches you how to deal with mistakes when you're immigrant. We grew up thinking mistakes are failure, and if there is a single fucking immigrant that tells me, "Oh, this is not true," no, this exactly is true. We know that mistakes are failures. This is how you're raised. That's what your parents told you. But reality, that's not fucking true. And that's when we're gonna talk about, the toxic relationship with families. We're gonna talk about the whole situation of one mistake I made for years was thinking I had to be strong all the damn time. And you actually don't. You can be showing emotion. You can be a little unpredictable, and it's okay because this is who you are, and that's what actually your body needs to relieve the stress that's going to make you say or do something completely stupid. um for what? Only because you think you're a failure? No, you're not. You're just moving at your right time and you're at the right pace, because nobody else has the energy to tell you, or the right to tell you, "Oh, this is your little whatever, your little time," because it's not. But the more you suppress, the more you fucking break, and it hurts. I work in a restaurant business, and here I've written something about why leadership matters, and you know what I wanted to say is that something that I'm gonna dive deep in the episodes. Um, and I have something that I really nice. I even wrote an article about it. You cannot lead people if you don't care about them. You cannot inspire them if you don't show up. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm showing up for myself today because I have to lead myself for a better future, for better me, for recognizing who I'm actually and what I actually want. So this podcast will be real. Some episodes will be motivational, to the part of me committing to motivational. Some will be personal, and some will be very fucking uncomfortable. Um, and some will challenge the way you think. So, no filters, no bullshit, no pretending.
Please subscribe and share with your friends or somebody you know that are going through what I'm going through. Thank you for spending your night with me, and thank you for respecting my product, and thank you for being you.